This is the cheapest E92 M3 find in the whole nation. And let me tell you guys about the car so you can kind of have an idea what it actually is valued and what I got it for. So it's pretty obvious this is a 2008 E92 M3, so one of the first ones they made. I think the first or second year. This one has 142,000 miles. No, it's not a salvage title. It's a clean title. And it has this gray interior. It's like a blue-gray, pretty decent shape interior. Probably like 7 out of 10 for the miles and everything. And yes, 6-speed manual. You gotta have that. Makes it a little bit more valuable. If you don't believe me on the miles, here's a look at the miles. 142,000. Now since it's clean title, this should be worth about mid 20,000s. And you read the title thumbnail right. It was about 5,000 to get this thing and a few freebies, which I'll go into in this video. So this photo here is how the car was found, abandoned pretty much for like 5 years in the storage unit. You can see in the photo, transmission, engine was all on the floor. Basically what happened, you guys know everything about the rod bearings. That's like the main issue, maintenance on these cars. Well, the guy didn't care about rod bearings. So once you don't care about them, enough time passes, your engine starts to mess up. So the crank is messed up, everything was messed up in the engine. The guy was like a military mechanic, so he said he's gonna do it himself, pull the engine, kind of disassemble in the storage floor over there. Then he decided to give up, listed it, I think for the low teens. And then the shop parts score who worked on this car, more on that later, they went to look at it. They offered like 5K or something. And at first the guy just wanted 10K, he didn't want to hear anything else. So time passes by. They offered him to pay the storage fee and gave him some free tires for his daily car and then 5K cash and got this car. It had like a weird exhaust setup, something cheap like muffler delete. So it was in like actual barn find condition when they got it. Then parts score had it towed. Here's what it looks like now, pretty clean. Did a good job at restoring everything. They pretty much had to change everything. I'll give you guys the whole list, but everything you see is pretty much new, replaced. Nothing was skipped out on. Also, this thing has LCI tail lights, so that looks pretty cool, better than the old stuff. It did also come with brand new wheels and tires, so that's a nice plus. Brakes were not replaced, but they're kind of newish, like 80% left. Exterior condition is whatever. 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, something like that. There's like these scratches here and there. Maybe when the guy pulled the engine or something. So here's the quick list, what they replaced, just to give you an idea, kind of what it also would cost to do all this. But it was a little over 5,000 to get the car. And then they basically did the whole engine rebuild, took it all apart, put new parts in there so it's nice and fresh. Like the crank rods, rod bearings, ARP bolts. The throttle actuators, which is another big thing, was replaced as well before the car was received, so by the last owner. Every single gasket you can think of around the engine and everything like that was replaced. Front and rear main seals, spark plugs, thermostat, radiator, 2 belts, the transmission engine mounts, flywheel and clutch is brand new OEM. All the fluids obviously are replaced. Even the hood shocks that keep the hood up were replaced just because. Brand new battery. Like I mentioned, the wheels and tires, the guy bought new, never put them on there yet. I don't know why he bought those and didn't just fix it first. The front splitter and rear wing are M Performance. They look kind of older, but whatever, it's OEM. AC service was done, alignment, and a bunch of little other things, not just those that I listed. It would probably run around like 20-30 grand to do all this, which is not really worth to do to send to a shop and have them do it, you might as well just buy a used good running car. I do have another car I bought like this. I'm gonna tell you guys about it in a different video. Pretty much the same thing. It's not an E92 M3. I bought it broken. It's a Parts Score again. Shout out to them. They do high quality, good work. So that's where that car is, and it'll be done in a couple months. It'll be even crazier than this. It's not gonna be stock or anything like that. It's the way opposite. And speaking of mods, let me start this thing. Like, if you can start a E92 M3 and still talk without yelling, you're doing something wrong. But that's on my list. Do the exhaust on this thing. That will really liven it up. It's not the fastest thing, so it really needs a sound for the full experience. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think is a must-have mod for the E92 M3? I never really owned one, just a 335. That one had single turbo. One of the early videos, you can see it. Can you guys guess what the other car is? If you're a subscriber, you know there was a G82 M4, GT3. I sold all of those. So I'm just working on these projects right now before I get into something big again. So mentioning the initial cost, repair cost, it would have been like well over 30, 40 grand. But what I'm into it at the end of it, after buying it from Parts Score, is 22 grand. What do you guys think? Is that a good deal? 140,000 miles, 2008, but everything is refreshed. Interior looks good. It's fully maxed out options that you can have in 2008. Melbourne red on whatever gray interior it's called. Eager to read the comments, what you guys think of this M3 in general, and what I should do to this car, and any guesses for the other car that is coming. If you enjoy content like this and cars, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. For 2008, for this price, it drives and handles pretty great.